Welcome to the Iraqi Dinar Hub, where we explore the nuanced and frequently complex realm of exotic currencies with detail and accuracy. For holders of physical Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong banknotes, the avenues for exchanging these assets are undergoing subtle yet important changes that demand prompt consideration. Whether you are a long-time observer of these markets or a newcomer learning the intricacies of global forex, comprehending the practical routes to liquidation is essential. A common belief suggests that converting these currencies is a simple endeavor. However, the actual process frequently entails a complicated network of banking rules, branch-level decisions, and advancing financial technologies. Our aim is to dissect the present situation, looking past superficial talk to scrutinize how traditional banks and new digital services are currently managing these specific currencies. A widespread assumption among holders is that major U.S. banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or Citibank have a consistent policy for buying and selling Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong. The reality is more detailed and location-dependent, often disappointing those who visit a neighborhood branch expecting a standard service. Although these leading banks offer foreign exchange services, their willingness to handle such exotic currencies is usually confined to particular branches. Typically, locations near major international airports, active financial centers, or diplomatic areas house the specialized foreign exchange desks necessary for these transactions. These spots experience greater international demand and are thus more likely to have personnel skilled in authenticating and processing less commonly traded currencies. Unlike dealing with euros or British pounds, visiting a major bank requires careful preparation to avoid frustration and lost time. It is crucial to call in advance and ask specifically for the foreign currency exchange desk, rather than a general teller unfamiliar with procedures for IQD or VND. When making this initial contact, confirm their current ability to process these exact currencies, as policies can change quietly due to liquidity issues or compliance updates. You should also ask precise questions about ID requirements, current rate spreads, and whether an appointment is needed, since such specialized exchanges often cannot be done on a walk-in basis. Additionally, some branches may limit these services to current account holders or premium clients, adding a further layer of exclusivity to the process. Grasping why the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong are labeled exotic is key to setting realistic expectations when dealing with bank staff. This classification usually refers not to scarcity of notes, but to low trading volumes in restricted international circulation compared to major reserve currencies. Consequently, smaller suburban branches often lack real-time rate systems or the physical expertise to verify these notes. Employees at such locations might not recognize the security features of dinar or dong banknotes, resulting in errors, incorrect rejections, or referrals to central branches. Therefore, choosing a branch close to an international business hub or a large cultural community is a strategic decision, as staff there are more likely to be trained in the necessary regulatory and verification steps. For individuals who discover that major banks cannot meet their needs, private currency exchange bureaus offer a practical and sometimes neglected alternative. These businesses are commonly found in global travel centers or large, diverse metropolitan areas where demand for varied currencies is steady and high. Their main advantage is specialization. Personnel are expressly trained to manage a broader selection of banknotes, including IQD and VND, and they frequently face less red tape than traditional banks. However, this convenience involves trade-offs, particularly regarding the cost of the transaction. Private exchanges might apply higher fees or wider buy-sell spreads, which can lower your final received amount, making a careful cost-benefit analysis essential before moving forward. When using a private currency exchange, thorough research is your primary safeguard against possible inefficiency or financial loss. Investigate providers diligently, seeking third-party validations and reading customer reviews to assess reliability and service standards. As with banks, call ahead to confirm they accept the exact denomination and series you possess. Ask for a preliminary rate quote and inquire about any holding periods, since some offices might need to retain your notes for verification before releasing funds. Ensure the provider is properly licensed and ensure to reduce risk, confirming your assets are secure during the authentication process. This market segment is valuable but demands an alert and informed consumer to navigate it effectively. Advancing digital technology is slowly transforming how people deal with foreign currencies, and the exotic exchange market is starting to experience this shift. In 2025, a growing number of fintech startups are examining ways to enable transactions for currencies like the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong, while mainstream apps like Wise or Revolut have traditionally avoided these assets due to regulatory challenges and low volume. Newer, niche platforms are appearing to address this void. These platforms often advertise simplified procedures, mobile access for easy tracking, and logistical options such as secure pickup or delivery for physical cash. This evolution modernizes the market, providing a convenience level previously absent for holders of these specific banknotes. Nevertheless, the emergence of digital platforms introduces new user responsibilities, mainly concerning security and verification. Before submitting any funds or personal details to a digital service, you must confirm the company holds appropriate licenses to operate in your jurisdiction. Look for ratings from established bodies like the Better Business Bureau in the US and examine user feedback for warning signs like hidden charges or payment delays. While digital solutions offer great convenience, they are not risk-free, and the user must perform comprehensive due diligence. Properly vetted platforms can deliver a smooth experience, but unverified applications could lead to substantial financial exposure. In some areas, especially those with large Iraqi or Vietnamese communities, peer-to-peer currency networks function as a localized option. These networks depend largely on trusted personal connections rather than formal institutional structures, operating at a community level. Benefits often include speed and adaptability, permitting transactions without the bureaucratic hold-ups common at big banks, and sometimes providing more competitive rates. Yet these informal exchanges carry inherent risks due to a lack of formal oversight, raising the potential for counterfeit notes or unresolved disputes. Transactions in this sphere are founded on trust, which can be a precarious basis when considerable value is involved. If you contemplate a community-based exchange, safety must be your foremost concern, with specific steps taken to guard your interests. Always arrange to meet in a public, well-lit location such as a cafe, copyright, library, or community center, and never in a private home. Having a neutral third party present is a wise measure to ensure accountability, and you should request some form of written receipt or transaction record, even if informal. Using mobile currency verification tools to check note authenticity in real time can add another security layer. While such exchanges can serve as a functional last resort in particular situations, they should be approached cautiously and not used as a primary method for large holdings. Choosing the right moment to exchange is as vital as knowing where to go, requiring a move from impulsive reactions to strategic planning. Geopolitical events in Iraq, like oil output, political stability, and foreign relations directly influence the dinar's value. Similarly, for Vietnam, economic indicators such as foreign investment trends, tourism growth, and manufacturing performance are major drivers for the dong. Tracking these macroeconomic factors lets a holder appreciate the wider context of their currency's worth, instead of relying on isolated rumors. Both the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam are pivotal in valuation, and their announcements on monetary policy or foreign reserves often precede market movements. To stay informed, employ reliable market monitoring tools rather than depending on social media speculation. Platforms like x.com, investing.com, and various forex tracking applications supply real-time data that can help spot genuine trends. Setting alerts for significant fluctuations or news releases can identify favorable windows for action, enabling you to respond to information rather than emotion. Economic calendars that log announcements about GDP, inflation, and trade balances are invaluable resources for the serious holder. By combining daily rate checks with verified news alerts, you place yourself to make reasoned decisions based on the economic health of the issuing countries. Documentation and compliance are frequently overlooked yet critical components of a successful exchange strategy, especially with larger sums of exotic currencies. Financial institutions must follow strict anti-money laundering (AML) and know your customer (KYC) regulations, applied with heightened scrutiny to currencies like IQD and VND. When ready to convert, be prepared to show valid government-issued photo ID, such as a passport or driver's license. Banks may also request proof of how you acquired the currency, like original purchase receipts or withdrawal slips, to confirm legal sourcing. For substantial amounts, this paperwork is mandatory, and having documents organized beforehand can determine whether a transaction proceeds smoothly or is denied. The condition of your physical banknotes is another logistical factor that can greatly affect your ability to exchange them. Banks and private exchange offices usually require notes to be in near-perfect condition, without tears, heavy markings, or stains. Damaged or excessively worn notes may be rejected outright, as they are hard to recirculate or return to the issuing central bank. It is highly advisable to store your banknotes in protective sleeves or folders to preserve their quality over time. This simple act of preservation helps ensure that when you decide to exchange, the physical state of the currency does not become an obstacle to the transaction. Vietnam's Dong often gets less attention than the dinar in speculative forums, yet it represents one of Southeast Asia's most compelling economic narratives. Over the last 20 years, Vietnam has become a manufacturing powerhouse, with a fast-growing middle class and consistent trade surpluses. This economic solidity has led to deeper integration into major global trade pacts, which in turn pressures the nation to uphold fair and modern currency practices. The International Monetary Fund has noted that the dong's value may be lower than Vietnam's strong economic fundamentals would imply, sparking ongoing dialogue about its future valuation internationally. Recently, Vietnam has implemented updated systems to monitor capital flows and increase transparency in its foreign exchange markets, aligning its cross-border payment reforms with global standards. The appearance of the VND in various testing scenarios within the U.S. banking system is a notable development that hints at growing interconnectivity. While this does not assure immediate changes, it shows a degree of coordinated activity consistent with wider efforts to modernize monetary frameworks. For holders, this indicates the currency is part of a dynamic, evolving economic ecosystem, not a stagnant asset. The Zimbabwean dollar, ZWL, though often out of the headlines, remains a currency of considerable interest due to its turbulent past and recent monetary policy shifts. Zimbabwe's turn toward a gold-backed currency model has garnered increasing attention from international observers and financial institutions. Reports from the African Development Bank indicate the nation has built adequate reserves to meet basic stability thresholds, a key step in rebuilding global confidence. Regional banks in neighboring countries like Kenya and South Africa have noted improved settlement behaviors involving the ZWL, suggesting behind-the-scenes adjustments that may bolster its role in regional trade. Globally, major institutions such as the IMF, the World Bank, and the U.S. Treasury approach any currency evaluation changes with extreme care and detailed planning. Recent country assessments have underscored the significant financial modernization efforts undertaken by both Iraq and Vietnam. Importantly, reports on currency manipulation have concluded that neither country meets the criteria for manipulative practices, a positive sign for their international standing. The Bank for International Settlements has long noted that sovereign rate shifts are typically trialed through private institutional simulations before any public launch, indicating that technical testing is a standard phase of the process. The recent increase in digital activity and synchronized system tests has generated much discussion and speculation across social media and specialized forums. While public forex platforms may not show immediate rate changes during these internal tests, The digital traces of such activity often lead to intense scrutiny by observers. Reports that some banks have temporarily suspended certain currency window services for maintenance frequently fuel further speculation about bending updates. However, it is important to distinguish between internal testing protocols and imminent public changes. These back-end processes are intricate and do not invariably signal a direct or immediate shift in the public exchange rate. For those operating in this environment, the danger of scams remains a constant threat requiring ongoing vigilance. The exotic currency market is unfortunately attractive to fraudulent operators who take advantage of holders' hopes with pledges of guaranteed rates or secret redemption groups. The fundamental rule persists: if an offer seems too good to be true, it almost always is. Deal only with verified, regulated currency exchanges and avoid any arrangement that asks you to mail your currency without rigorous legal agreements and insurance. Disregard unsolicited offers from social media groups or private seminars to protect your assets from malicious actors. To optimize your position as a holder, concentrate on core principles: knowledge, strategic timing, and preparation. Knowing precisely where you can exchange whether a specific bank branch or licensed private official forms the foundation of your strategy. Basing decisions on verified financial indicators rather than emotional reactions to rumors ensures you act with logic and clarity. Moreover, having your documentation ready and your currency in excellent condition removes potential hurdles when a favorable exchange window appears. This disciplined approach distinguishes successful asset management from mere speculation. Diversification is another crucial strategy for long-term holders, acting as a cushion against the inherent volatility of exotic currencies. It is prudent to balance higher-risk holdings like IQD and VND with more stable assets such as the US dollar, euro, or traditional investments like stocks and bonds. Secure storage of your physical notes is equally paramount. Considering a bank safety deposit box or a quality home safe can protect your physical investment from theft or damage. By creating a comprehensive currency action plan that includes diversification and security, you ensure your financial health is not solely reliant on the performance of a single speculative asset. Looking ahead, the function of emerging platforms and community exchanges will probably continue to develop, offering new liquidity pathways. While community exchanges warrant caution, they reflect grassroots interest in these currencies. Meanwhile, fintech's potential to connect exotic and major currencies could transform accessibility. Monitoring these developments grants an informational edge, allowing you to adjust your strategy as new tools and services emerge. Nonetheless, the foundation of your approach should always remain grounded in verified, legal, and transparent channels. In summary, success with the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong is not about discovering a hidden shortcut, but about understanding the legitimate, established entry points. It requires acknowledging that acceptance is location-specific, that timing should be guided by economic data, and that regulatory compliance is compulsory. By staying informed, steering clear of scams, and maintaining a disciplined approach to your holdings, you place yourself to navigate this intricate landscape effectively. Prosperity in this field rewards those who are prepared, protected, and act with clarity, not those who pursue transient rumors. Thank you for tuning into the Iraqi Dinar Hub. We trust this detailed exploration of exotic currency exchange logistics has equipped you with the tools and knowledge to manage your holdings confidently. Remember to verify every source, keep your documentation organized, and seek advice from qualified professionals for any financial guidance. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep your focus on the data.